Hello everybody, Mr. O here, and we're gonna get started with coloring our current project, which is redoing the cover demonstrations. And instead of one big video, I'm gonna make a variety of smaller videos. That way we can just see, maybe understand a little bit better how to color each portion. In the videos, I'm only going to color the head one bit at a time. I'm going to do a hair video, I'm going to do the skin tone, and I'm going to do the collar. That way I can show black and white how to use them. In my classroom, all the students are going to borrow a set of 36, and then I will have 5 or 6 sets of skin tones, and they'll be able to use those and be able to color. When you're learning, you don't need gigantic sets. Sometimes when you get too many colors, it holds you back. And we can create almost every color with that set of 36. So I just wanted to point out the previous cover that I did. As you can see, all I did is I actually recreated it, and when you get a second or third shot at it, you can be a little more interesting, create the same elements but make it more interesting, because the idea is for any cover, album cover, magazine cover, comic book cover, manga cover, is that we're trying to sell something. But I will warn, it's always important to go the same direction. And when you don't, it creates static in your viewing. It draws your attention for the wrong reason. So what I did, along with drawing the cover and just doing some sample, is I drew a series of 4 faces, and I just want to go over blending today. Just one of the biggest mistakes students make is over blending. So we're going to do 2 different kinds of blending in the beginning. Remember, this is the basics, and I will eventually teach more advanced blending techniques. We are first going to do something I can never pronounce correctly, which is a burnishing. And that's just using the color pencils themselves to blend, and then what I call the hard blender. The other 2 pencils I have that you're going to see me use in the last video is 2 different values of gray, 150%, 120%. If there's a failure in the set of 36, they should have put these 2 gray pencils in there instead of a metallic gold and a metallic silver. Metallics are just so flat that I would recommend that if you buy yourself a set, get that 50% color pencil and that 20% gray. So let me first teach you how to burnish. I'll say it 3 times fast, and I'll still probably mispronounce it each and every time. So I'm going to use warm colors because it's always easiest to see. So here's yellow, and let's do that a little bit longer and bigger. I always go a little bit further with the light color, and then we got the medium. As you can see, some of the orange is going to pop up. I know I got a shadow casting today. I don't have my lighting correct. As you can see, as I go in, I can just slowly notice that you can go back and forth or round it. When I start blending, I like to round because it really gets it in there. And then of course, red is so dark, it really stands out. And of course, it's very pointy, which means it's gonna kind of leave lines behind. That's why I'm doing the circular motion. But I'm not too worried, because when I go back in with the yellow, and that's the key, you go back in with your light and you really start to blend. Look at the difference between the 2. Now, the problem comes in that sometimes you want to leave it rough. Rough means you don't blend too much. And we talked about over blending. You don't want to over blend. Sometimes what you do is leaving a little behind. I want to be careful of wiping. I don't have I have a hand broom that I usually wipe. And so that's burnishing, and I can do a very nice flame. Because yellow, if I'm going to actually do something yellow with a lot of red, I would actually not leave a lot of the yellow behind. I would go back in with lots of orange and go back in with the red And I'm just going, I'm not pushing very hard when I use the dark color, and then I go back in and I really get the color blended together. And as you can see, the yellow will lighten everything up. And the reason you don't want to wipe like this, because you can really smudge it, as I'll bring back the final. And so that's burnishing, and that's one way of blending your color pencils together. The other way is I got the yellow, and I got the red, and I'm not gonna have to go on top too much. I can take the hard blender, and look at what I'm doing. I'm pulling. The hard blender, think of it as like a clear color pencil. So basically it helps you blend. And as you can see, it creates a different effect. When I color the hair, I will actually use both techniques in different times. And I will go over that in the next video, because this one is over. And in this world today, we're so worried about being right. Sometimes we forget that even when other people are wrong, we can still be kind to them, okay? So be kind, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.